Шановні колеги, ми розпочинаємо роботу. Тема першої прес-конференції.
The topic of the first press conference is the launch of the project, launch of the regions Donbas. Our guest Kateryna Sidash, coordinator of the initiative launch of the regions, Nadiya Afanasyeva, expert of Foreign Policy Research Institute. The first one is Kateryna.
Доброго дня.
Good afternoon, esteemed colleagues. Our meeting today is dedicated to the launch of the project, which is starting in a few days. And that topic, launch of the regions Donbas, is very important for us because a year ago here we started our other initiative, which was called Launch of the Regions. 8 regions participated in it, Eastern and Southern. The Eastern include 5, Kharkiv, Dnipropetrovsk, Zaporizhzhia, Donetsk and Lugansk, and then we continued this project in 3 southern regions, Mykolaievsky, Khersonsky and Odessa regions. What we were talking about there, we were working with different NGOs and also with the public, with the territorial communities which were created and which will be created, those that were in the process of getting united. And besides very important topic, the reform of decentralization, we paid attention to the fact that we need to strategically plan our development, to look at how they want to develop their communities, how they see their municipalities in 5-7 years, how can they use new instruments, project management, for example. They had to understand that that is how they need to work, because that is how European cities and municipalities work. And that is the way that will help them attract funds from both state sources and private donor money, and there are many of them for the regional development. Having passed that way, having worked in 8 regions, we have further plans to work in the regions. We saw that 6 regions have been actively involved into the process. We had more than 100 units of different municipalities. Out of them, up to 50% were actively involved. They started introducing some structural changes in their executive committees. We have some success stories, like using the budgets of participation. And that's where there were no things like project management. And we were involving international funds, participation in international programs like energy efficiency. We saw that the municipalities, we cannot say that we have taught them, but we pushed them towards using these innovational instruments. But in 2 regions, in Donetsk and Lugansk, we saw completely different picture. We saw that it's difficult for them, difficult to perceive the information. We saw that because of objective and subjective reasons, they don't react as actively as other regions. And that is why we're starting this project for 2 regions, Donetsk and Lugansk regions, where we involve more of a training component to give them some confidence, to learn them, to teach them presentation skills.
Але даємо більше часу на сприйняття, тому що цим людям це потрібно. І ще одна наша така.
And one more vision which coincides with the vision of other organizations we take people out from their regions. On Thursday, we start 3 events in Poltava region in Mirgorod, then we'll take them to Kharkiv region. We'll go with them to Pervomaisk, and we are planning one more big educational visit to another place. We were selecting places which were different. We've heard that people say in Western Ukraine they have different history, different mentality, different culture, and they succeed. And that is why we selected the regions which are close by to them mentally and talking about territory. But still they can think differently, they know how to develop their communities a little more. You will hear from Nadiya, from our expert, and then I will talk about specific things from our project.
Good afternoon. The methodology of our project is based on strategic planning, strategic vision, how the local community should develop. That's why the first component of our training is the analysis, how local community sees the path of development for their community for the incoming 5-7 years. Then, depending on these strategic goals, which are set by local community for themselves, allows to set more tactical, operational goals, and this allows to develop immediate objectives. During our 3 days workshop, we cover the full cycle of project management from project initiation through project planning up to follow-up projects, and this allows to show perspective for people. Another big advantage which we give to our participants, this is strategic management, which allows to keep in mind the resources, the capacities that you have, and to put this against the long-term outcomes of the project, and including the follow-up projects. That's why the important tool which we offer for discussion is the sequence of projects, that is, the series of projects. It's not just an illustration. It's not enough just to change the bulbs, electric bulbs, or to put energy-saving windows, or just to make a new road, but to have broader perspective, understanding how this will contribute to improving life in your city or town. Sometimes we see people who are totally confused. Usually these are people from small cities and towns who just recently became the centers of united communities. Those who became centers of bigger communities, united communities, they have a broader experience. They're not so scared, they do not have fears, or they are not confused. But those who for the first time has gained this responsibility, they do not know what to do with this responsibility. And for this people. We provide our training assistance. We allow them to analyze the resources they have, the unique nature of their community, how to turn this unique nature into advantage of their community. And quite often people simply do not understand that in this or that features their communities are unique, and that this could be turned into advantages which would allow them to win funding for multiple projects. Then we make a big focus on cooperation between the authorities, business, and civic society. Thus, we involve civil society members to our projects and train them how they should push the authorities in implementation of changes. The same could be done by businesses who are interested in development of the local communities. In course of our consultations, we try to organize meetings with the mayors of these towns, representatives of local business communities who showed their proactive approach, and of course representatives of civil society. Quite often we face a situation that there is no organized civil society, that is, we do not have specific organizations. In these cases, we invite the most proactive members of local community. With this, I would like to give the floor to Kateryna. She will explain where we will work from Thursday. Here you see the pictures on two screens.
These are the photographs from our regional consultations. We had 35 of such consultations in bigger or smaller municipalities. For us, that was a challenge, because when we were writing about regional consultations, we didn't think where we will go, how this will be happening. Sometimes we saw some unexpected circumstances of work, how communities work. We selected more than 100 communities that participated in the project. 35 of them were that demonstrated their desire to work, who were requesting to give them feedback, to edit them. We helped many municipalities to finalize their documents, and we have successes in several municipalities which won the funding. And first of all, that is the city which has good ideas, which could describe them so that they received money. For the project that we are talking about, we have 19 municipalities that work, that participate in them. 8 of them are bigger cities like Mariupol, Vuhledar, Svetogirsk, Pokrovsk, Siversk, Liman, and 5 which have been created in these cities, in these municipalities. That's the list of them. Despite the fact that for the United Territorial Communities, there were many opportunities provided for upgrading the personnel, because what they lack is personnel. The communities get resources, get powers, get responsibility, but they don't have people who could do that. Very often when we would go to regional consultation, they would say, okay, we have this teacher in the school, she will be working on education. Others don't want to do that, but we motivate her. We give her the opportunity so that she can find time for more active work. And that's very good if the communities manage to attract good specialists, because then they have more chances to work on their budgets and to attract money from the donors for different programs of the European Union and other donor organizations which work in Ukraine, including USAID, our donor that helps our community. And this way, working with them, providing them these opportunities, motivating them, we believe that we are doing a good thing for the community to develop, to have responsible citizens so that the local community feels its responsibility. We've talked a lot. Maybe you got some questions. Do you have any questions, any clarifications? Okay. Institute of Liberalism and Business, there's a joint stock company, territorial community. They need personnel. Do you develop some methodological recommendations on qualification requirements? And this, the question whether we work on that, yes, on our website we have infographics where we were talking about basic opportunities, funds that are provided, and one of the most popular infographics was a typical structure of executive committee of territorial community. People wouldn't understand how many people they need, how much money they need for salaries. I disagree with you because territorial communities, they are created in place of some other unit that existed before. These were small settlements, and they have some people who work there. Another question is the quality of these people, because now they have more powers, more responsibilities, and they will have more administrative and social functions. And we are working on that. We have our own developments. We use the developments of other experts. We invite also the experts who can deliver the best to the audience, because the expert has to find common language with the audience, which very often is the audience which doesn't know everything that larger municipalities know. So we do invite experts. On Thursday we'll have an expert from Ivano-Frankivsk who has been working in strategic planning for several years. Then we'll have the expert from Poltava. And we have very good cooperation with the Ministry of Regional Development. And we have the speaker who's either live or we communicate with such a person via Skype. Having visited several events, we realized that it is important for local authorities to have not experts, but a person from the authorities who could answer their questions. It is important for authorities to be present there. And very often they ask questions which are related to amending the constitution, and the ministry wouldn't have an answer. But they at least calm down people. They say, don't worry, don't take care, don't look at that, look at your own local problems. That's important locally. And we appreciate that the ministry reacts like that. We understand that they don't have too many people who could travel, but they still find time to go to local self-government units. Any other questions? Once you have no more questions, we will finish. Thank you. Good luck to you and see you again.
Шановні колеги, наступна подія о 12:30.
The event will take place at 12:30.